We're here at the PDAC 2023, second day, and it's been 2 years since we were last here, but hasn't been 2 years though since we talked to Brixton Metals, Gary Thompson. That was back in December in Munich at the show there. And it was shortly after, or around the time you announced some great news that BHP, biggest miner in the world, I think, took a position in the company. It's been a while, and you brought out a lot of results from the 2022 drilling since then for the Camp Creek Copper project or target, let's say, and for the Trapper Gold target. Can you give us a bit of summary of what you achieved there since last year, and what perhaps start with the gold?
On the Trapper, sure, yeah. I mean, we ended up the season with 18,000 meters drilled, and really focused on mainly the Camp Creek porphyry, as you mentioned, and Trapper Gold target. And in January, we actually had a lot of results hitting the market, just because we got a lot of results in. So it's all behind us now, and I mean, the takeaway for Trapper, we're quite impressed with the system there. We've got about a 300-400 meter zone sort of blocked out, I guess, down to almost 400 meters depth, and we're getting mineralization. I think the best hole was around almost 400 meters of a gram, something like that, but we also have some very high grade sub-intervals within that. So it's looking like a pretty robust system, but it is the gold mineralization is related to base metals. We're calling it base metal veins, and one of the intriguing things that we're seeing, or potentially seeing, in sort of analogs to other deposits, that we actually may be sitting on a porphyry copper system at depth here. And we yet to test that. So that's one of the things that we're looking at perhaps doing this year, is drilling some deeper holes at the Trapper target to see if we can actually make that connection into a copper porphyry, because we are seeing other analogs, other deposits like this elsewhere that seem to have that correlation. So that's going to be one thing to test in 2023. And then with the results at Camp Creek, I mean, we ended up with 4 deep holes into sort of a 500 by 600 meter area in Camp Creek, and they're all well mineralized with copper dominant porphyries, copper, gold, silver, moly system, still wide open. I mean, we've got a big footprint there at Camp Creek. It looks like a kilometer by potentially 2 kilometers. And I say potentially because we can see about a kilometer by kilometer of surface expression, but then it goes undercover as we get further to the east-northeast with a younger volcanic cover, so we can't actually see that surface expression of the system. So we'll have to do some drilling there. So the goal for 2023 would be to get 2 drills turning on Camp Creek as early as we can get in there, sort of targeting late April, early May, and maybe get 10 deep holes. So we're talking 1,300, 1,500 meter target depth in Camp Creek. So if we can get 10 deep holes with 2 objectives, one is to see if we can test that bigger footprint of the system, and the other would be to see if we can tap the core of the system, which is going to give us much more high-grade mineralization, which should get this story fired up a little bit more, I will say. Okay. And then sort of a mix of that and some additional work at Trapper, and then we're looking at some of the other targets that we haven't done a lot of work on. So we're still working on these other targets that we want to bring up the curve to drill. And then of course we had some spectacular gold copper surface samples from the Metla area, which is a new emerging. It's a different system than the Camp Creek and Trapper, because it's the mineralization in Camp Creek and Trapper both seem to be related to a Cretaceous age diorite porphyry unit, whereas the stuff we're seeing in the mineralization we're seeing in the Metla target area seems to be related to an alkalic porphyry that is 220 million years, so Triassic in age. So it's a different system altogether, and different kind of mineralogy there. So we're quite intrigued by that, and some spectacular copper gold numbers coming out of that system. But that's another huge area. We're talking 10K by 15 kilometer area in itself. So it's a bit of a needle in the haystack to find the porphyry, but Yeah, we've got lots of exciting news, I think, to come for 2023, and we've got probably another 20,000 meter program in front of us for the year, and hopefully starting, say, late April, early May.
Certainly looking forward to it. And are you I guess you're talking to your new partner BHP. Can you use their expertise? Are they talking to you about what they think is good or what you think it has to be done?
Yeah.
Is that partnership working?
Yeah, so we have the technical committee formed, and we've had a couple meetings now so far. So we are collaborating on the data, and they're certainly modeling up some ideas that they have, and so we're kind of building towards that. Also, some of the benefits we're seeing out of them is some of the geophysics. We did some big geophysical surveys that are seeing quite deep. And so just helping us do some reprocessing on that to help really help vector us, especially in the deeper holes where it's hard to visualize what's going on at a kilometer depth. So having some 3D modeling expertise on that, I think will help a lot.
Okay, well, certainly very interesting. And do you think once you get going, the stock is going to get going again? I mean, it's pure conjecture, I know, but it reacted quite favorably to some drill results and of course to the BHP news, but since then it has come back, let's say. So some would say that's an opportunity, and the others would say, okay, when it's going to go.
Yeah, that's a good point. I mean, yeah, we are a seasonal operator. We can operate there from April, May till October. So it is a seasonal story, I would say. But yeah, right. I mean, it is a bit of a quiet period right now. We still have some results pending from our Langus, Ontario project that we drilled late last year for the more silver cobalt nickel angle. But there's no budget for that for 2023. So that'll be some interesting news between now and then. And then yeah, it'll be a big focus on Thorn. So once we start drilling at Thorn, I would guess somewhere around June to January, we should have a good amount of news flow coming out of the Thorn project.
Okay, thank you very much. Good to know.